13 is a must-see on any tourist's to-do list in Medellin because of its vibrant and colourful celebration of the Colombian culture.
So this morning we're supposed to be doing a walking tour around Comuna 13 in Medellin, but we're currently unable to find where the walking tour we're doing starts from.
The Google Maps link that the company sent me took us to exactly this location, and they said to meet outside the San Javier metro station, which is also right here. My guess is that one of two things happened. Maybe we were the only people who booked an early morning free walking tour on a Sunday and they didn't feel like showing up, or we were actually in completely the wrong place, and if that's the case, I'm really sorry for our guide who probably just waited for us for ages.
I don't know whose dog this is, but I think he belongs to us now. What's your name, buddy? So, we've actually had a bit of a stroke of luck. The tour itself has gone from the meeting point where we were trying to find them to actually where the tour itself begins. They haven't actually started the tour yet, so what they've said to us is they're going to wait for us to get from the meeting point to the start point of the tour. So all we need to do now is jump in a taxi quickly to meet them, then we're going to start our tour around Comuna 13.
So the taxi dropped us off at the address that they gave us, but we're pretty sure that we were not taken to the right point. We think, however, we can actually see this big kind of graffiti mural, which is definitely on the tour, so we're just going to walk along it and see if they're there, and if they're not, then we're going to have to give up. We've been looking for our guide for about 20 minutes now, so I think it's time to give up. We know that Google Maps doesn't always work for us in loads of different countries, and it looks like Colombia is one of those countries because we were pretty sure that we came to the location he gave us.
Because we're both feeling a little bit tense from the mix-up this morning, we're going to grab some food and de-stress, and then figure out a way of exploring this beautifully colourful part of the city.
After a bite to eat and a coffee, we've decided that we feel up to exploring Comuna 13 ourselves since we're here. We could come back tomorrow and do the tour, but tomorrow is our last day in Medellin and we had other stuff planned. So since we're in Comuna 13 already, we're going to DIY it. After all, that's what we do best.
It's definitely something that we do. I'm just not convinced that it's what we do best. What is it that we do best?
Mess up.
Huh?
Get lost.
Get lost. We do get lost very well. Look, watch. No idea where I am. On leaving the cafe, we've also seen a lady with a sign advertising something, which turns out to have the funniest translation of any advertising sign I've ever seen in my life.
I like big ants and I cannot lie. You almost can't deny. When an ant walks in with a little bit of waste and a brown thing in your face, you get hungry. She was selling them as snacks.
This whole little segment, like sat here, has just suddenly become a musical, and I'm not quite sure how. Izzy and Dale, the musical.
I hate musicals.
I love musicals. I'm singing in the rain. It's not raining.
Might be really vibrant and colourful today, but it's actually famous because during the 80s and 90s it was the stronghold of Pablo Escobar. Now if you don't know who Pablo Escobar was, he was a notorious cartel member who committed some atrocious crimes, and Comuna 13 was basically a place where loads of drugs were trafficked and loads of cartel members lived during the 80s and 90s. The dark history of Comuna 13 began to end in 2002 when the president of Colombia ordered a guerrilla attack on this part of Medellin. As you can imagine, it was incredibly controversial because loads of innocent people were caught in the crossfire. The colourful murals that line the streets here are a stark reminder of the lives lost, but they're also here to symbolise just how much this area has turned itself around. And honestly, it's pretty cool to be a part of such an incredible piece of Colombian history, even if just for an afternoon.
No?
No.
Doesn't want to be your friend. Nearly fell off the escalator. Throughout Comuna 13 are a series of escalators which are not only one of the reasons that tourists come here, but are also really useful for the locals. Comuna 13 used to be badly connected to the rest of Medellin due to its poor public transport links and the fact that it's located on the outskirts of the city on a steep mountainside. So the escalators make it really easy to get around Comuna 13 and to the rest of Medellin, and we're heading right to the top because we've heard there's an incredible viewpoint. Or at least I'm heading to the top. Izzy's at the bottom of the escalator somewhere in order to get that shot, so I'll meet her at the top.
We've come to a little stretch of road which is just around the corner from the viewpoint because it's a lot quieter, and you also get amazing views of Medellin as well as Comuna 13.
I'll be completely honest, when we figured out that we were going to come to Comuna 13 on our own without the guided tour that we'd originally planned, I was a little bit nervous. Because of the reputation that this area of the city has, it did sort of put me on edge a little bit, but being here for 5 minutes, it really was clear that the reputation that this area has no longer really is apparent to what it actually is like, and I felt really at ease pretty much straight away.
Yeah, it's definitely very lively, and there's no mistaking the fact it is still quite a poor area. I mean, as we spoke about yesterday at the football match, the football hooligans, who most of them belong to gangs, were waving flags saying 13 on them because they're all from Comuna 13. But at the same time, it has become a massive kind of tourist area, which you could say is bad because it loses some of the authenticity, but at the same time it still feels really authentic to us, and it's really good for the area because it's mean that people who live here can make a lot more money and it helps their community.
It brings the good and the bad, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. This is getting quite deep, but there is just one more travel tip I want to give you. If you do come to here, please don't do a Pablo Escobar tour. We read loads of stuff that those tours are all run by people who used to work with him or for him, or their families did, and they're very much what we call dark tourism, so it's more kind of glorifying the things that he did rather than exploring this area and learning about the history like we've tried to do.
Yeah. Like we said, as soon as we got to Comuna 13, we really did feel a lot more at ease. So if you do come to Medellin and you're umming and ahhing about coming to Comuna 13 on your own or with a tour, you can do either. You will be absolutely fine either way.
I want to add a little disclaimer just in case anyone tries to sue us.
Yeah.
Be careful with your stuff, and don't take our experiences as gospel because we've only been here for an afternoon.
Izzy and Dale told me that I wouldn't lose anything going to Comuna 13, but I lost my shoe.
Lost a shoe?
Or found a shoe. There's absolutely no context for anybody watching that.
That's an Eddie Izzard quote.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's Rod Gilbert.
No, it's
He's
Eddie
Welsh.
Izzard.
It's Rod Gilbert. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe.
And we'll see you tomorrow when we are going to be exploring the rest of Medellin and trying to do as much as we can on our last day here.
Blah, 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 blah. We've come to Comuna 13. As soon as I start talking, everyone's eyes just go.
I know.
Hi. Wow, there's so many dogs.
I think they were chasing a cat. Poor cat. I'm doing like a yoga pose here.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you are actually.
Uh-huh.
Very good. Well done. Flex McGee.